we're live, JJ.
Oh, you didn't give me warning on that.
Sorry about that.
Hello, I'm JJ. I'm a life coach.
I'm Eric. I'm not a life coach. We used to introduce by saying, and I eat mostly meat. Mm-hmm. And that is not true for me at all. How about you?
I am not eating, well, I'm still building my diet around meat.
Mm-hmm.
But there are other things involved, yes.
Well, I think we should talk about them.
All right.
And the reasons why. I think our last video that we posted before the holidays, I basically talked about how I wasn't carnivore. I couldn't call myself one because I had been adding carbs, and I had been for a while. I considered myself carnivore oriented or based, even though I was adding avocado.
Oh, yeah, the avocado.
And I did that because I was having some symptoms that were just not resolving by carnivoring more, by going higher fat. None of those permutations really were doing the trick. But I think actually it's important to give a framework that we started in October of 2022.
Yes.
And over the course of that following year, we lost weight and resolved all kinds of problems on carnivore.
All kinds of problems. You know, I'm glad you said, let's go back to the beginning for a moment, because we did carnivore pretty good for 3 years. And it's so funny because I did Dr. Boz's course last round in September. And so I'm still part of my Dr. Boz group. We still meet every week. And I feel so awful. I feel like such a loser because they've only seen me doing all these weird things with my diet and jumping around and all this craziness. And I'm like, this is the impression they have of me, is that I'm a flake, basically.
You're not a flake.
I think it comes off as flaky when really, you know, we had done it for 3 years. And so anyway, we'd done it for 3 years. And let me tell you, my skin was clear. I lost weight. I had improved thyroid at that time. No, my cellulite went away. Joint pain, my old injury, better. I think that sums up most of it.
Yeah, that was a lot of it.
Yeah, that was a lot of it. Oh, mood and energy through the roof.
The body recomp.
Recomp, all of that.
Yeah, it was great.
It was great.
And I resolved IBS and acid reflux. I lost 36 pounds, I think, at the deepest weight loss phase. And it was easy to manage for the most part. I occasionally would go through phases where I would lose my cravings for sweets, but it was easy to maintain and eat that way as long as we ate at home.
Oh, I had no problem eating that way everywhere. Like, it was so easy.
So
I liked it.
Did that for 3 years. Although I did start adding in things like avocado because I was, as I mentioned in that video that we posted before the holidays, I was having neuropathy in my toes, and I was having some sense of muscle weakness in one leg, and I was having muscle twitches. And I had those periodically for 15, 20 years. So it wasn't like I was worried that it was some new terrible thing, although I did eventually start to worry about that. But as I started to add carbs, I got improvement on those things. So it was just an experiment at the time. And I had to make a decision. I was like, I can't make improvements going the other direction.
What do you mean by the other direction?
I can't eat more meat.
Oh.
There's no way I can eat just more meat and get there. So
Got it.
That's why I made that decision. But then I was on a long ruck carrying my 30-pound backpack, and I was listening to Zane Griggs. And he co-wrote the Kicking Ass Over 50 book with Dr. Barry, I believe. Mm-hmm. And we had seen him at Meatstock. He had the animal documentary that he was releasing around that time. And I was listening to him talk to Dr. Lisa Wiedemann about her process of adding in some fruits and stuff. I don't remember exactly what her protocol was. And it really got me thinking about an alternative frame for how I was going to eat. And so I decided to do that experiment, and that's kind of what got me off to the races, but also made it so we couldn't call this JJ and Eric Carnivore anymore in good conscience.
Yes. Now, around that same time for me, I did blood labs in November. So many things were good. And this was when I was ketoing hard, therapeutic ketosis, using Dr. Boz's methods. Sardine fasting, all the things. And so I feel like I've healed so many things. I've definitely healed my metabolic issues that I was having, insulin resistance, all that stuff. But that last blood test, my lipids were going crazy. And I'm not talking just high LDL. It was the quality of the lipids. You're better at this.
Yeah, well, we believe that the small, dense LDL are not good. Mm-hmm. And so we were seeing those skyrocket.
Yeah.
And for me, long story on this channel, triglycerides were high and they stayed that way, regardless of what I did on Carnivore.
Yeah. And my trigs were trending bad. Everything was trending bad. You have a drinking
Not everything.
Problem. Well, on the lipid panel.
Yeah, right.
Pretty much everything was trending in the opposite direction. Not that all of it was out of range or bad, but some of it was really bad. And the other stuff was trending in the wrong direction. My reverse T3 was very high, indicating stress in my body. Like I said, I'd done a lot to heal my thyroid. Not completely. I do have hypothyroid, but this was showing signs of my metabolism actually shutting down with that high T3. And I always have inflammation issues, and my inflammation was actually going up. Mm-hmm. So again, not alarming levels, but trending in that wrong direction. So I was also feeling like, what do I do with this? Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I definitely don't want to fall off the cliff. And, 4 years down the line, return to the situation I had basically my entire decade of my 30s.
I was seeing I didn't have a lot of thyroid panels to refer back to, mm-hmm. but I was seeing my T3 starting to decline, and that was a sign of metabolism slowing down. Also, our blood
I have the drinking
our
problem.
blood sugar was going up. Many people who are on carnivore or low carb, they see that, and then they listen to the videos about, maybe it's longer lived red blood cells. I don't believe that at all. So I took no comfort in it. And I was like, well, I'm not, and this really gets to where it was a big turning point for me, listening to a podcast with Zane Griggs. And it was as follows. Your liver makes 100 to 150 grams of carbs per day if you're not eating any carbs. And because there's certain parts of the brain that need carbohydrates regardless of your ketone levels. And so you will churn those out through gluconeogenesis. And I always thought, well, great, that's what it's there for. Mm-hmm. But what we were seeing is our fasting blood sugars were going up, and they'd be above 100. Mine would be 110, 115. Now, some would see that and go, well, that's not really a problem. But my view was, if I'm going to eat carnivore, I better see that number to be 75, 85. Because if my liver is going to make all those carbs, I better just eat them and save it the trouble.
And we've done a lot to manipulate our blood glucose to,
with success.
With success, we'd shifted our eating window. And of course, I was doing a lot of fasting and sardine fasting and so forth in that last quarter of the year to really try to keep those down.
And when I had that kind of light bulb go off in my head, it was like, I have gone carnivore long enough. I probably too long. Well, obviously I think I went too long. It was great for a period of time, and I should have introduced some amount of carbs and gotten into some sort of maintenance level that was sustainable. Now there's dangers with that because I'm not a moderator when it comes to that stuff. So anything that's super tasty, sweet is likely to get me spinning out of eating way, 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 way more. So that's a whole separate problem. So that's what started me down this path. I'm like, well, if I'm going to make it, I might as well eat it and save my liver the trouble. And it was a really interesting process to make that transition because we had done a video last fall where we talked about take smaller steps. Whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, maybe just take a smaller step. Well, did I follow that advice?
You are horrible at following that advice.
I did not follow that advice.
Here's what you do though, usually. Or when you think you're taking a smaller step, but really you're not.
No. I did the step of, well, why don't I just go out and eat 300 grams of carbs every day and see what happens? And it was a very interesting experiment. I don't advise if you're a long-term low carber because it can be pretty stressful. I have since gone off of that and then ramped back up a little bit. But one thing that I discovered was I had never made the association between the level of carbs that I ate and how I felt in the past, other than digestive problems.
Yes.
I didn't have a sense for that it would make me warm or that it would make me jittery or have lots of like kind of excessive energy. And I remember it was like one of the first days I had some orange juice. It was like when I poured a glass of orange juice, I'm like, am I really going to drink this poison right now? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to drink it. It was pretty tasty. And then it takes a little time. It hits the bloodstream. And then I went out for my ruck with my weighted backpack and I was walking along and I was like, I'm going too slow. I need to speed up. I had this kind of excess of energy where I wanted to like move faster. And that was great until I burned it all off and crashed into the pits of the post blood sugar spike doldrums. But it was those types of cycles of eating it, feeling what happens, and then going into the opposite side of that where it felt terrible, that I started to learn how the blood sugar dynamics actually felt. And in a way, having long-term low carb gave me kind of a blank canvas upon which to do those experiments. In addition to that, I've been wearing a CGM pretty much constantly, which is, I've done in the past, but it's really showed me a lot about the rise in blood sugar and how the top of it, basically the topology of that trace, if it's very sharp and very sharp down, how I respond and how I feel. And it looks like to overshoot and go hyperglycemic all of a sudden. All of those adventures have been unpleasant, but I've learned a huge amount by doing them.
Yeah.
Now, do I feel better than I did before I started this? I would say no.
I would agree that you do not feel better.
I would say that I feel markedly worse.
Yes.
Except when I feel markedly better.
Yes.
So instead of feeling at a 40% level that I did on Carnivore, which was
consistent
40% energy and cognition, regardless of what I did. I do this zigzag thing where I can go up into extreme focus and concentration and energy, and then I can collapse down into this,
stupor and doldrum.
Stupor or anxiety and panic attacks.
Oh, yes.
Which has been no fun. I don't recommend it.
No. Now, I'll talk about my experience here in a moment too, but now my framework with carnivore would have been, or even keto, panic attacks mean you need to be eating lower carbs for your brain, right? That's
the ketones going, right?
Mental health model, right? Yet this theory is around creating safety within the body, correct?
That's the gist.
Is
to keep the stress hormones in check by not being in constant stress through
ketosis?
Low energy.
Mm-hmm.
Due to not having, this is one of the nuances of this whole thing. And I think Zane, he explains it better than I can, but the reason our blood sugar is going up is because we both were experiencing a physiological insulin resistance where our mitochondria were so stuffed full of fat, we couldn't do efficient glucose burning when we had it. So we do all the gluconeogenesis, and then the mitochondria really couldn't drive as much energy from it because it couldn't complete the whole Krebs cycle. And that was resulting in constant elevation of blood sugar over time, over a long period of time. And it's also, for me, it was very hard for me to retain any salt. And I couldn't retain I couldn't retain the electrolytes that I was consuming. Here I've got a salty with potassium, magnesium, and sodium in it. And I would have 2-3 of these a day. And I was constantly dealing with problems with, I think it was mostly low potassium. I just couldn't retain it.
Which is why you started the avocados.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What happens is when you actually get some carbs on board, it draws water with it into the tissue, but it also helps you retain and get the potassium in the cell where it belongs. And that helps with energy production. So let us know if you're watching us and you've ever seen us before and you remember us, and say hello. We don't mind if you're still low carb or carnivore. We're not telling you not to do it.
No, not at all.
That's not our mission.
Not at all.
We're not here to convince you to change anything you're doing.
No. I was not convinced. Let me just say that.
Well, you were feeling so good.
I was feeling so good on carnivore. But I decided to do some experimenting because of these trends in my numbers. So I met with my integrative doctor, looked at those blood labs, told him that I was going to do this experimenting. He was skeptical. Although I'd never told him I was completely carnivore. So he didn't know that. But he's like, but you got to be careful about weight gain and this and that. Meanwhile, he upped my thyroid dosage because, like I said, my thyroid was trending in the wrong direction. So where carnivore let me cut it in half, now I'm up to that full dose again. So he was skeptical, but he's like, okay, by the way, I also did a heart scan, CAC score, right?
Mm-hmm.
I did that leading into all of this as well. I'd had one done 3 years ago before I started carnivore. It was at 0. It still showed 0. I've not done any other imaging, any more in-depth imaging. So I told my doctor that. He's like, and he's not happy about my lipids either, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not at all happy about the lipids. So he's like, well, yeah, go ahead, experiment, and I'll order you the blood tests and we'll see what happens. So I did not jump in quite like you did. I did a very deep dive into learning about the liver, what I can. The liver is so complex. I can't even. But I tried to do a very deep dive into learning about the liver and this idea about that fat clearance, because for me, it seems like I can burn fat really well, but I have an issue with clearance. And I was deemed a saturated fat hyper responder. Yes.
That's a new one.
Yes. But anyway, so I did this deep dive into the liver, learned that fat clearance thing is true in the liver, and I can't explain it because I don't retain that information for very long. And I was like, okay, so I sort of followed you, but I didn't dive in head first like you do. I started trying some carb cycling, and then eventually sort of landed on 40% of my macros being carbs, and then 30 protein, 30 fat seems to be a pretty nice sweet spot for me where my blood sugar doesn't go crazy. Everything stays pretty contained at that point. So I too have been attached to a CGM for many, many weeks. And I settled on that, and there was something else I was going to say around that. What was it?
I don't know.
You can't read my mind?
No, never could.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, I sort of settled into that. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I am really still leery of plants. So basically I was eating eat fruit and roots, right? A little bit of potato, white potato, no skin, some fruits, some carrot sometimes. And then occasionally some greens too, which I did on carnivore as well. I would have some of the lower lower anti-nutrient greens. That's kind of a weird way of saying it. What I deem as safer greens every now and then. So yeah, I was a little more reluctant to move into it, but I decided to do the experiment. And for me, my face has been broken out for 2 months now. I've gained weight. I don't feel as mentally clear or energetic. I've had dips in my mood. So why am I still doing this?
That's a fair question.
Why am I still doing this? Well, number one, I want to get those blood test results. So I don't want this whole time to be, this experiment to be wasted by not getting the data at the end of it. The other reason, though, is my heart rate variability, which is notoriously bad, has gotten markedly better. My heart rate has come down. My breath rate has come down. So there seems to be a sign of, through tracking, of less stress response in my body.
And if you see, what is it, reverse T3 go down?
Yeah.
That would be another indication that there's lower stress response.
Yeah. Yeah.
20 people watching. We have
Holy cow.
one comment. Say hello. Even if you don't like us, you can even tell us we're stupid. We're used to it.
I'm telling you, I think I might be stupid. No, I don't know.
Libby Haynes says, my doctor had to increase my thyroid meds back up too. He had lowered so much, I think it was affecting my liver. And I think in another message that's not showing up here, she said she wasn't carnivore anymore or low carb anymore. I can't remember what it was. But I got to check in to see if maybe we're not getting messages here.
So I've been attached to my CGM and working at gathering a bunch of data. I've seen these markers improving. I can say that basically what my meals look like right now are 4 to 6 ounces of protein. And that's usually a steak for one of the meals and chicken for maybe the other 2, or eggs for one, chicken for one. And then I have about 150 grams, not of carbs, but 150 grams of fruit or 150 grams of potato with it. So that seems to be really doing better for me. My skin is getting a little bit better. And my mood and energy and focus have been better, keeping that sort of tight parameter around those 3 meals a day. And so I'm really trying to figure out right now personally how I will move forward. Again, I need to get these lab results first. And I've sent a message to the doctor saying, hey, it's time. Can you send those orders into the lab? But I'm trying to see how I can maybe, I don't know what it looks like, to be able to be in a deeper ketosis part of the week. Maybe is it doing a 24-hour fast once a week? I don't know. I don't know, but I can tell you I'm not happy with my skin condition. I'm not happy with my
husband.
Well, we won't even talk about you've mentioned some of your adventures on this, but yes,
I'm not happy with him either. So,
but again, I don't know. I feel like, was it your mom who called it a pucker snatch? Or
yeah, it's a dilemma.
It's a dilemma. Yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do next, but the experiment continues. And I am enjoying the fruit. It's nice. I enjoyed my carnivore diet too. We are going to the store all the time. So I also just enjoyed the simplicity. I really loved carnivore, and I'm going to do what's right for my overall health. But that includes, like I said, I think, you expect adaptation. So at first I was like, oh, the skin breaking out, that's just adaptation. But I'm like, come on, really? So I don't know.
I eat a lot of chicken breasts, which I don't love that as a choice, but
you didn't love steak though either.
But I like the taste of it. I don't necessarily like that it's, factory chicken, where their beaks are stuffed full of soybeans or whatever they're made to eat. But what I like about them is that they're very low fat, so I can manage my macros very carefully. I am tracking everything to the gram. I have never done this except for 1 week, maybe when I was trying to troubleshoot Carnivore a year or two ago. But I'm tracking everything. I log it. I have a custom app that that I whipped up thanks to Claude Code, and it really is helping me understand my metabolism. It's a laboratory for me, and I'm willing to take some of the temporary setbacks in order to learn more about how it feels and what happens with my blood sugar curve. And I've been spending a lot of time thinking about the downward slope after a meal. The postprandial curve, you see the blood sugar go up and then it comes back down. Now, if you have insulin resistance, it goes up and then it just stays up and it plateaus. If you are insulin sensitive, it goes up and then it comes right back down to its baseline. But then if you have reactive hypoglycemia, where it goes up and then it comes down way too far and then you get into that hypoglycemic state, the question is what's going on there? Because that was happening to me. And it really came down to two things. One, am I just releasing so much insulin that my body is just being forced to clear it super fast, faster than I can even absorb it? But there's another option, which is the peripheral tissues, the muscles, also have glycogen stores where they take in blood glucose and they store it as glycogen for when you're going to do bursts of energy. You're going to lift weights, you're going to carry the groceries, going to walk up steps. You'll use a little bit of that rather than burning fat for that energy because you get a lot of energy out of it. And could it be that being so long low carb that those stores are relatively depleted? And so anytime I get this rise in blood sugar that has a concomitant, fancy word, release of insulin, my muscles just go suck it right up and it overshoots and drops my blood sugar really low. So that was an operating theory. And I knew that I could test that by eating starchy foods with some fat to slow absorption. And I would slow that downward curve because the spike wouldn't be as high. So I learned that did work. And then I had the thought, well, if I eat a lot of carbs with very low exertion every day, I could replete the muscles and get them refilled with their glycogen stores. And then I could eat something like an orange or a banana or drink orange juice. And while I would get a tall spike, the decline would be slower because the muscles wouldn't be as hungry. Essentially, I'm trying to make my muscles a little insulin resistant compared to where they were to get back to some sort of normal. And I proved it. I'm getting that effect. And that's really exciting because that gives me a sense of power and learning that that's how the body works. And now I can manage higher carb with less fat without having the whipsaw blood sugar that causes hypoglycemia. So that's just one little area that I've been working on trying to understand because it's complicated.
Yeah. I will say that I have enjoyed the learning as well because I've really learned what it feels like with those different levels of blood glucose. And it's been very fascinating to see. Right now I like to peak out at about 130 to 140 on a blood sugar spike. If I get up to 150, it feels different than 130 or 140. It's not weird or awful or anything, but there's definitely a different feel. And then I didn't have as much of that lower hypoglycemic reaction that you had, but I had it a couple times and that was interesting to feel that as well. So yeah, I think it's fascinating to learn how we respond and what exactly is happening with blood sugar. Yeah. So and presumably insulin.
I'm eating 200, 250 grams of carbs a day. It's lots. And it's a sweet potato, white rice, orange, like an orange, not orange juice. Although I did have some orange juice was that today or yesterday to test to see what would happen, and it was good. And chicken breast, sirloin steak. It could be fattier steak, but I like to be able to measure out how much fat I'm going to add for my experiment. So I'm using butter as a fat add, so I can really get the macros dialed in to see the effects. I will say that I've had occasion where I've slept amazing. Whereas on Carnivore, I had it figured out and I was sleeping fine. I've had some where I've slept crazy good, and I've had some terrible, terrible night's sleep.
Yeah.
Doing this protocol.
Yeah. What were you just talking about before the sleep, though? I was going to say something.
What I was eating, the amount of carbs I was eating.
Oh, yes, that was it. Yes. So for me, I think I might have settled in. I did some tracking last week, the week before. I don't know. It's all blurring together. I did some very specific chronometer tracking. I don't have my app like you have your app. And I don't remember how many carbs I was eating at that time, but I've got it dialed in, and I think, so that's why I'm not tracking anymore. I kind of know what I'm doing, but I think I might actually technically still be low carb.
Yeah.
I think that my carb grams are still probably no more than 100.
So that's sort of Mark Sisson ancestral primal zone. And I'm gone crazy. I was trying to get like 300, 350 just to see what happened. And let me tell you, you can't do it unless you're doing juice. Because here's an example, 250 grams of air fried sweet potato, diced skinless, not diced, but chopped up into like little cubes. 100 grams of that is about 25 grams of carbs. The rest is water and fiber. So if you're going to eat a meal where you need to get hundreds, you're going to eat a diet where you need hundreds, it's a lot of sweet potatoes. You'll turn orange pretty quick. Rice is like 70% water, not much fiber in it. So you can eat a big rice meal and get really full, and then it's just gone. So I never appreciated that in the past. But the beauty of those ones that are a little slower to absorb is that it flattens that curve out a little bit. It makes the top of it less spiky. So we have some comments.
All right.
Marin says, Mary N.
Which are over here now. I don't know why.
I'm just stupid. I forgot how we set this up. Hey there. Where does it? So glad to see you both. I've been following Dr. Boz, and I'm currently working on Keto Continuum Workbook, and I'm doing better, though I still have a ways to go.
Love that. Love Dr. Boz.
Her teaching is great.
Yeah, it is phenomenal. And I think you sort of alluded to it. I think we've healed our insulin resistance.
Oh,
which
the physiological?
Yes, yeah. Which I think is where a lot of the doctors are
kind of converging.
Yeah, and what they're teaching about, like their teaching is around insulin resistance. What happens when you're no longer insulin resistant is the question.
But I mean, there's a difference between, what is it, pathological and physiological?
Yes.
Because what's happening at the mitochondrial level is the same, but the cause of what's happening there is different.
Yeah.
And that's why cutting carbs and sugar when you're highly insulin resistant works. But if you're physiological insulin resistant because you're no carb, you have to add carbs to get out of it. You cannot get out of it otherwise. You can't go lower carb.
You can't go lower carb.
No. So, I mean, if you do, it'll only get worse. If you went only fat, it would only get worse.
So I wanted to bring up, she was talking about Dr. Boz though. And like I said, I don't know where my future is going to lie right now, but I am like, there could be a sardine fast in my future. I'm serious.
I believe you because you felt so good.
Yeah.
And there's no reason to give up the mental state. I mean, life is too short to be miserable just on principle of not, for some reason, having some weird lipid thing that may not even matter because your CAC score is 0.
Yeah.
I don't have that luxury to experiment with that. I got to figure it out.
Well, and you didn't feel wonderful.
I felt awful.
So I'm just, like I said, I think the next phase is going to be some sort of cycling or pulsing, or I don't know, but I think there is a sardine fast in my future.
That's crazy.
I know, it's crazy.
Deborah says, welcome back. Sure did miss you both.
Aw.
Agi says, hello.
Hey.
Let's see. Garausa. I got on keto diet, lower blood glucose. Then I got on strict carnivore diet despite I eat now lots of carbs. Yep. Ed Bruton, I added creatine, sleep improved. Keisha's here. Howdy,
hey,
just
Keisha.
Joining. It's good to see you. New picture.
Oh, yeah.
Carnivore Jerry. What? Wait, what? Carnivore no more? Serious or clickbait? Well, I think by now you know we're serious. It's not clickbait. Carnivore for me was going to be a dead end, so I had to stop it. I don't know where I'll end up. I may end up in somewhere north of keto. I don't want to be in ketosis. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I may end up at this sort of moderately high carbs, but I'm eating about 35-40% fat. In this interim, I had to back off of the super high carb because I need the fat to actually slow down absorption of carbs.
You know what you didn't talk about, and I think if you're willing that you should, is you had great healing or ceasing of your gut issues.
That's correct on carnivore, yeah.
So what's been going on since then?
Well, it was a little bit unclear because we went on a cruise after Christmas and I was trying to eat. I wasn't going crazy.
No, you weren't going crazy.
It wasn't like a sugar fest, but I was adding some carbs. But the cruise food, even on Disney, was not good to my gut. I don't know if it was the seed oils or some sort of preservatives or something, but I was
thickener. You thought maybe a thickener?
I was so bloated. I was like a Macy's balloon.
It was.
And when we got back, it took at least 2 weeks for that to eventually settle down. And now that's gone. But with the sweet potato, white potato, rice, and the little bit of fruit that I'm having, I have really none of the IBS stuff, none of the gut pain issues, and really no bloating. I have been having a little bit of solar plexus issue. I have a small hiatal hernia, so that might be an issue because I was eating such high volume of these starchy foods. That's eased quite a bit as I've kind of tweaked the diet, reformulated some things. I found that like apple juice was terrible and apples was terrible. So there might be something in the apples that was irritating it, but reflux has been really no issue. There was a period after the cruise where it was, but once that all settled down, then it's gone. There's no issue with that. Then my moderation problem is not a problem because I am eating to a plan and I'm measuring everything right now. And I get so much sort of sweetness or carb satisfaction from just eating sweet potatoes, which I love. They're like a dessert to me. I kind of don't feel like I'm deprived of it just because I know that I'll be eating more soon. And I'm not worried about the oxalates at all. Let's see. Laureen Jones says, I am now making my own Reuterai yogurt because of you two.
Yes.
Can absolutely tell the difference. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I just had some today.
Oh my gosh, though, we had a catastrophe. Our sous vide machine died. It's really old. We've had it a long time. And so we have a yogurt maker coming. It should be here tomorrow, but we're getting pretty low. One of my strains is completely gone. I'm going to have to start over. Or no, I froze it. But yeah. So tomorrow, the yogurt maker.
Well, that's good because
we're low on several strains.
And you can't make it overnight. It takes a day and a half.
Yeah.
But I kind of got away from the old Reuterai for a little while because I did an initial very low fat run of this. Like I was trying to get 15% of calories from fat. I mean, we know from the past, when the low fat craze was happening, the crazy low fat era, it's hard to do. And it was almost impossible to succeed. But I got rid of the yogurt because it was made out of half and half.
Yeah.
So I've been meaning to reintroduce it more regularly, and I often forget. But I had some today, and it was tasty, and I probably should get that going. I also was having sauerkraut and kimchi. I actually paused the kimchi for a little bit, but I might bring that back. It's probably full of something that is terrible for me. I don't know what. There's no winning. There's always somebody who will tell you whatever you're doing is wrong.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Keisha says, so glad to see y'all's fave. Missed y'all. Is this phonetically written?
So glad to see you. You're all a fave.
Okay, got it. There's missing punctuation. I support you doing whatever works for you. No judgment for me. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And that is reciprocated to all of you. I don't care if you're a raw vegan. You're welcome here with open arms. Carnivore Jerry says, no, I was actually being serious because I'm from northwestern Wisconsin, and I thought maybe the cold was affecting you with the decision to quit carnivore. I just came on. Yeah, it's been so brutal here.
But we've lucked out because we didn't get all the storms that the whole...
Well, that's true, yeah.
The 2/3 of the country got. They missed us. We just got really cold.
Yeah. Deborah says, it's definitely a journey.
That's for sure.
That's an evergreen comment for pretty much any topic.
I think it's interesting, though, because it's so nice to... We like certainty so much. So we get something, anything in our life dialed in, and we're like, oh yeah, man, this is it. I've got it now. And then something comes along to create that little bit of uncertainty with everything.
Hirosa says, I lost on carnivore 70 pounds in the first 6 months, but also after 16 months was a dead end for me too. After carnivore, I lost an additional 4. Wow. I've gained 12.
Yeah.
And it has not been something that I've accepted easily. And there's been times where I'm like, maybe I should just back off of this. But I'm taking a longer view. I think I've kind of hit the top of what I'm going to gain. And I understand that when you replete muscle glycogen, you're also adding a lot of water. So I would say that there's probably a good 4 or 5 pounds that's just water weight from having carbs. The rest of it is probably left over from Thanksgiving and the cruise and being really, really sedentary of late. I tried to get back into a very specific workout regimen, but I was having panic attacks.
That'll do it.
So that was kind of a no-go.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to figure out why those started, and I had a lot of blood sugar theories, but I have other theories that I'm not going to share. But my hope and intention is for those to stop. You can see I'm actually in a pretty good mood. So
you are today. You're kind of giddy today.
I have been doing so many AI projects that are so amazing to me that it's been super exciting. Like I got out of bed going, I get to back. I'm going to work on this app that I've been building, which is, and it's not something I'm going to commercialize. I'm not going to sell. It's something I'm using for myself for writing fiction. It is the perfect writing application. It is so good. I probably should commercialize it so I can sell it to all 2,000 fiction writers who will exist 2 years from now. But I'm not gonna, because I don't care about that.
You've wanted that for like a decade.
I've tried to have AI build it in the past, and then all of a sudden, December, things changed, and then in January, poof, it can just do it, and it is incredible. And I had it build my my dashboard for my food tracking. So you may be familiar with Chronometer or Chronometer. What's the other one that you used? There's some.
There is. It's
food
not
logging
in my brain right now. I don't know.
And it has the whole database of foods, and you enter it in and the grams, and I hated it because it was full of ads and it was clunky and old. So I told AI, here's what it should look like, and it just made it. And then I would keep telling it to tweak things. And now I've got it set up. All I got to do is go into Telegram, and I write into a bot message, and I send it what I ate, and it fills it in for me. And then I can go look at it later. It's amazing. So I'm in a good mood despite having anxiety issues that have crept in and
yes, but
out of nowhere.
Just like your blood sugar going like this at the
Yep.
like we have had that, both of us.
Had that?
Moods.
Oh, moods.
And
yes.
panic and yeah.
Yeah. So for
I haven't had the panic.
those of you who have had anxiety or panic attacks in the past, you understand that it's no fun. I've had these come and go in the past a number of times, and I've never really figured out why they go. I'm unwilling. Well, I will not take any benzodiazepines for it, so I have to figure out how to endure it. So I generally just go in the living room and lie on the floor.
He was doing that. My mom came over and he was lying on the floor, and I'm like, he's fine.
Well, that one I wasn't. I was probably doing mobility.
You
or
might
something.
have been, but I'm like, he's always laying on the floor for
because
some
I've got a
reason.
foam roller over there too that I get on.
I said
sometimes.
he hasn't fallen and he can't get up. It's
Yeah.
That's normal to see Eric on the floor for some reason or another.
That's right. But it's very weird because there'll be like a physical sensation that will start and it'll be a little bit uneasy, and then all of a sudden it sort of just cascades, and then all of a sudden the adrenaline goes, and then it's just trying to ride that and not react and not let the breathing get out of control, because you can't let the breathing get out of control or it's over. Well, it's not over, but it's worse. All right, who else we have here? We got Keisha says, I don't normally have caffeine. Had some for several days. Had panic feelings. That definitely interfered with my life. Maybe going off caffeine if you use it could help. That is extremely good advice.
Yep.
That is really strong recommendation that I'm hearing you write into the message app, and it's going into my brain. And tomorrow morning, when I get out of bed, we'll see whether I remember it.
Well, ironically, I am back on caffeine. Because I felt so groggy and gross in the morning without my ketosis that, I am now. It was really interesting. I'd never drank coffee in my life. And then I started fasting and I was craving it, which was odd. And so then I would have small doses because I still didn't love it, but it was fine. And then I lost the taste for it sometime last year. I was like, I don't want any more coffee. And then now I'm back on it because I need it in the morning.
Well, the coffee is a big part of my reason to get up in the morning. But if I didn't have it, it might be good for me, because one of the reasons I wake up in the morning at 4:30 is I think my brain starts going, ooh, a cup of coffee would be good. Mm-hmm. And because it wants me to get up to have it. So I'm hearing what you're saying. So let me mention this. We've been using 2 different CGMs.
Yes. Yeah.
What brand is yours?
I've been using a Libre, but doing it through the Tastermonial system, I guess you could say. Yeah. I've been using Tastermonial and getting my Libre 3s from them for years. And I use the 2 Crazy Keto.
Okay, so that's what I'm using basically.
You're using a Libre 3?
Well, it's the Lingo over-the-counter version of that.
Okay.
But it's the same company. It's Abbott.
Okay.
I tried the Dexcom Stello, I think it's called.
Yes, you did.
Horrific data. Terrible, useless, completely unaligned with finger prick blood. And any CGM will be, depending on the dynamics of it. But I'm using the Lingo, which is an over-the-counter CGM.
You ordered it from Walmart.
I did order from Walmart.
And it showed up, that you had it delivered?
Yeah, they delivered it, yeah. But I've since gotten them, I don't know, elsewhere. But
yeah.
Here's an example of what that dashboard looks like. You can see that we had dinner before we started. So I'm up to 125. And
that's probably where you're peaking.
And that's what that arrow means, is that it's been even here now. It's turning the corner. You can see earlier in the day, I had a smaller one that was from my lunch. Or a snack. I can't remember what that was, but despite all the carbs I'm eating, the traces are looking really good and way improved. When I first started it, they were horrific. But I want to point out that go back in time to last summer. When I was late last summer, I was advised to get a CGM and just see what was going on. And I was being told, go ahead and eat, closer to 80% of calories from fat, carnivore, spread it out over more meals. Don't worry about intermittent fasting so much and just follow it. And what was happening was my blood sugar would go up in the morning and then I would eat and then it would continue to go up slightly for hours and hours and hours. And I was like, how is this possible? I didn't have a carb. So that was a very eye-opening moment for me and started to get my mind understanding what the physiological insulin resistance looked like on a CGM for a carnivore. If that doesn't happen to you, it's not a problem.
No. Oh my gosh, no. I can't stress this enough. If carnivore or keto is working for you, keep going. Keep going. I think it's amazing.
Annette is here.
Oh, hey, Annette.
If this is still live, hi guys. I missed everything until now.
It is still live, and I've enjoyed occasionally hearing your name come up. I think on Two Crazy Ketos is when I usually hear it.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Annette,
hey.
It's good to see you pop in. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
I recommend going back and watching the replay a couple of times. And that's true for all of you, actually. You might glean something that you missed the first 2 times.
Glean something. I know not what.
Spanky Vulcan was here, and now it looks like Spanky Vulcan maybe has gone.
Okay. Maybe they're going to catch the replay.
Annette says, I do watch the replays. That was, wasn't that Rihanna's, one of her first hits? She had a song about something about the replay.
Yes. Now my brain's searching for that.
You know who I saw being interviewed was Bridget Mendler.
Oh yeah, loved her.
She was a big Disney.
Yep. Charlie.
TV channel. Charlie, yeah.
What was that show? Charlie.
It was when our daughter was little. She watched that show.
Yeah. It wasn't
Good
Wake
Luck?
Up.
Was it
Good Luck?
Good Luck,
Yes,
Charlie?
Good Luck, Charlie. Not Wake Up,
And
Charlie.
then she had a pop album with a bunch of hits on it.
Which was really good.
And I remember driving our daughter to Montessori school, and we'd listen to the Hurricane song and Ready or Not or something.
Yep.
And I liked the songs. I thought they were really good. Well, Bridget Mendler gave up being a pop star and a TV star, and she founded a tech company. And now she was being interviewed on some podcast about her tech company. Yeah.
Interesting.
So that was interesting. Yeah. I guess she's a high achiever.
Well, over the last few weeks, Eric, every now and then he goes, maybe we should do a video. And these have been my responses. Okay, here's the one. I have nothing to say. I don't know what I'm doing. That's a low mood response, right?
Sounds about right.
It's about right. Fine. Or it's been, I'm about to leave. We can't do it now. So he's sort of been this sporadic, let's do it. And it has not always worked for me either because of my schedule or because of my mood.
And it's been, we don't really have anything to report on results or where we're going to end up because we don't know. It's just an exploration at this point. And we don't know what that means for what we would end up making the channel about going forward. So that is a bit of a question.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it felt like we needed to check in because we had gotten some messages or some comments that came through. I can't remember on what videos that people were like, are you guys still alive or what, or something? And I'm like, well, yeah, we're still alive. If you want to hear us talk about any topic other than politics and religion, we're happy to talk about those topics.
Well, and that reminds me too, this I mentioned earlier that I'm still part of the spas group. I haven't gone every week. Sometimes I have
The spas group?
Boz,
Oh,
Dr.
God.
Boz. So basically, it's not affiliated with her anymore. We took our small group from her program and they still meet every week. And I'm the backup person to hold the meetings because I have a Zoom account. But we've got someone else who does them most weeks. And I come when I can. Sometimes I've got work stuff going on and it doesn't work for me. But like I said earlier, I feel like the biggest flake to them because here we started it and I'm like, I eat carbs now and I'm experimenting and I have to say, part of this has also been really interesting for me because I have felt sort of adrift without the community. And that includes the community here of all of you who tune into us and that we chat with and chatted with on a weekly basis. But also even, going to YouTube and I'm not, I'll check in with Carrie every now and then or check in with Jenny Middich, but I'm not filling myself with their videos right now because I'm already pretty doubtful about my direction and I don't know where I'm going. So I don't need that right now. But yeah, I felt a little adrift. And last year at this time, we had trips coming up and planned for
meat stock and meetups and stuff.
And I've got things coming up in my memories from meeting Karen Mile or hanging out with Karen Miles at the Chicago meetup and Dr. Hampton. And so that has actually, for me at least, been a little bit of a strange situation as well, of feeling a little adrift as far as this community goes. And again, not that anyone said anything. Everyone's been, who knows, has been supportive and everything. But it's just a little different.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll say it one more time. We're not trying to convince you not to do carnivore.
No.
Let's see here. No, Spanky Vulcan is still here.
Hey!
He was just wishing everybody a good weekend just because he's nice. Or she's nice. I can't see her picture. My glasses are not on my face.
No, they are not.
Elizabeth says, miss you too.
Hi.
Annette says, make it about Gen X humor. This is the problem with this idea. I like this idea. A couple of things. One is, I don't know that I'm qualified because my memory is not that great. So there's so much to pull from our collective experience of growing up when we did that is hilarious. But I don't know if I'd do it justice. That's my concern there.
You wouldn't do it justice.
Secondly, we'll immediately get canceled. Because we said the things we said as Gen Xers, we can't say those things anymore. Not that I necessarily want to say those things. It's just for it to be authentic.
Authentic Gen X.
Let's see. It's honest channel about life. I like it. Most carnivore channels are like cult run by fanatics. I would say that's how it seems, but having met many of them, they're good people.
Yeah. And my facial response to that was not that I think they're cult of fanatics because we have met a lot of them. I totally understand the dilemma of being on YouTube and trying to have a clear message because you really believe in this and trying to maintain that clear message as life shifts, no matter what that looks like. I think it's a challenge.
Yeah, and you build viewers who want to hear a certain kind of topic or content because they're aligned. And then if you shift it, I mean, Indigo Neely had to do that.
Yeah.
Because she went full high carb, I think. Mm-hmm. Dr. Wiedemann's had to navigate that as well. And she has a cruise, right? That she's got to...
that she's rebranded.
Had to rebrand.
Yeah.
Let's see. Annette says, I've added back carbs last year. I can't really say I feel better. Pretty positive. It stresses taking care of mom, and she took a dip down. just entered postmenopause. So a lot of challenges there that, it's not always the food.
Yeah. Sorry to hear about your mother too. Yeah.
Garosa says, I love you guys experimenting and sharing with us. Well,
here we go.
It's easy to do.
We're continuing to do that, and we will see. Yeah, I can tell you, well, I can't tell you anything. I can tell you that I can't tell you anything.
I can tell you that it's January 30th, and that means it's almost March.
It was light at 5:15 tonight. I'm so excited. I just spit at the camera. I was so excited that it was still light after 5. Yeah.
Doesn't take a lot, does it, at this time of year to find something to be excited about? But February is short, 28 days. And I remembered that there's the Olympics, I guess, are coming up.
Yeah, I think
the Winter Olympics. I don't know where they're happening. So we had a chat with our daughter who's back at doing her last year of college. We did a FaceTime with her yesterday talking about the Olympics, and we reminded her that JJ and I are experts at figure skating.
Yeah.
Now,
since the 90s.
Now, make no mistake, I cannot skate.
I have a friend who can skate.
I did some ice skating as a kid. I could go forwards. Okay. That's not what I'm talking about. We are also experts at tattooing and glass blowing, all forms of cooking, singing, of course.
Of course, yeah. Ballroom dancing.
Ballroom dancing, we may be the best experts that have ever lived because we consume this material as armchair quarterbacks. So the Olympics can be kind of exciting, and that helps you get through February.
Yes.
So that's good.
Yeah.
And then once it's March, that's basically false spring because around here it'll still be cold and snowy at times, but there's hope.
Yeah.
And then you're getting around, you've made the turn, you're getting close. And then the sun's out more, and then you can actually get vitamin D the old-fashioned way. So many positive things happen when we just think of February as like kind of a long weekend.
Oh.
And you're just like, oh yeah, it's February 1st. And then like a couple days later, it's like, hey, it's the 28th. It's March tomorrow. That's how I choose to look at it.
That is a big improvement from how you used to look at it. I can tell you that.
Annette says, we could crack Fred Sanford, George Carlin, and Archie Bunker jokes for an hour. That won't cause the red flag. That would be the end of the channel. We've been rewatching the Dick Van Dyke Show. Mm-hmm. That was pretty safe.
Quite.
Cheryl Coder, I'm trying to lose 8 more pounds and lower my pre-diabetes A1C, and my lipid panel is very high. Ooh. Been mostly doing Dr. Boz for the last 2 years. What do you think? Stay the course is the question. Well, coming from pre-diabetes, I would say that Dr. Boz is the right general direction. If I was in that position,
we can't give advice.
Or if I had a family member who came to me asking about that, I would say that's not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, that's not advice.
It's what you would do.
Golf season is approaching soon here. Not soon enough. I used to golf with my mom way back when I was a kid, and I never had really any formal lessons. We had kind of a little field behind the property, and I would practice hitting there, and then it didn't transfer. And it was the most stressful undertaking because I wanted to be good. I wanted to win, and the ball would go flying this way and that, and it ended up not being fun for me or anybody else around me.
I've not golfed barely at all, but I do remember on vacation, we would often golf with your mom. We would have one.
Just like once a year.
Yeah, and that was always fun.
Yeah, she was in it for the fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. Elizabeth, would you say you are more keto? No, I am nowhere close to keto.
He does not want ketosis at all in his framework. And for me, I am looking at can I be in ketosis part of the time and also keep my thyroid and stress levels and my thyroid calm and my HRV up?
So see, this is where it's confusing because a lot of people will go low carb and thyroid will improve.
Mine did. Yeah.
But then there's some who get to a point with low carb that it goes the other direction.
Yeah.
And so there might be this sweet spot, and it may change as your health evolves.
Yeah.
And we don't know the answers. That's what we're doing experiments right now.
Yeah. So I definitely, I will say this though. I will say this. I was curious. And so I took out the Keto Mojo, and I'm consistently in the morning at a 0.3. Now, you know, that's not considered ketosis, but it's more than 0.1 because I have gotten those readings as well.
That's true. Yep.
So that reading does exist on that meter. And then today, before I ate, I was up to a 0.5.
Really?
Yeah. So again, I'm just playing, and I would like to see some ketosis, but again, pulsing in possibly some fruit to keep all systems happy. I don't know if that's possible. We'll see.
I don't either.
But you are really seeing ketosis as a stressor for right now, and you are trying to avoid it.
Yes, I am adopting the frame for now that being in ketosis is a stressful state. Not necessarily that people feel stressed when they're in ketosis, because you feel blissful at times.
I feel very blissful.
But I would argue that it's because when your ketones are high, your energy availability is high. And it's getting around your physiological insulin resistance because you're not having to do glucose burning to get that. And therefore, you're feeling what it should feel like when your mitochondria are burning glucose efficiently. Now, is that correct? I don't know. It's just my frame right now. And that's been watching Barney Miller.
Oh my gosh.
Man, I have not seen that show in a long time.
I can hear the theme song going through my head.
I couldn't recall it to mind. I knew it was distinctive, but for some reason my brain was not. My thyroid was nuts. I had an 18 on the TSH, but did fix it with help from some carbs, eating more, some supplements. It's now 2.4 or something. Yeah, my T3 was 3, 2.7, 2.5. And it was like, I think there's a trend, and it's obviously the doctor's like, oh, it's normal. It's normal range. It's definitely not a one size fits all. I'm still trying to figure everything out. And this is what it is that there's some, they can adopt a diet plan and it just works and it's relatively simple. And then there's those of us who have to kind of experiment and tweak and solve, and that's just how it is. But I like to approach it with curiosity, and I will say that the more I learn about it, the more miraculous the human body is, and the more amazed I am by it. It's good to feel some awe. It's not just a machine. Martha, I wonder if low magnesium and folate on carnivore could be causing problems. I just don't feel good without an apple and a little bread, maybe pumpkin seeds. I'm curious about carb cycling, like 5-2.
Yeah.
That's an interesting scheme if you can, keep the carbs, if you can tolerate the carbs when you cycle them. That's the trick there. But magnesium, I think all the electrolytes, potassium, sodium, magnesium, maybe calcium to a certain extent, is another mineral that could be part of the suite of them that is, for some people, hard to retain on low carb.
Yeah.
And other people can do fine. I mean, Dr. Chafee doesn't salt, right?
No.
And he lives.
Yeah.
And he's healthy and he looks great. And if I did that, I would be a disaster. and there, I mean, there's an argument that like, oh, well, you'll adapt as your body learns to spare sodium and learns to spare these things. And I'm just call me skeptical. I just don't think that's always true for everybody in all cases. It's supposed to be nuts.
Yeah.
Killers. Yeah, that's right. If I hadn't learned about killers, I would never have eaten them, and they're tasty. I'd rather have killers than sardines, actually. I don't know if we have any killers in the pantry.
Oh, interesting story. Well,
those are kippers, by the way.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know.
Interesting to probably no one, but the one person is we just fit it. He said we're watching Dick Van Dyke, which we are, but we just last night finished rewatching Pretty Little Liars. So Killers in the Pantry takes on a whole new meaning after watching that.
Oh my goodness.
No, one of the women in my rewind sardine fasting. First time I sardine fasted, had horrible response to it. Now, I had the response Dr. Boz wanted as far as, holy cow, my ketones were great, my blood glucose was great, everything was great. But I had what felt like a histamine response. I got really itchy, really sneezy, really drippy, had these side effects.
Snoozy.
Sneezy.
Happy.
I was happy. I was not grumpy. And I pretended I was Doc. But anyway, someone in my small Dr. Boz group has started to experience the same issues when she has sardines. And so what you suggested at the time, I was having the sardines in oil as Dr. Boz recommends. She says, buy them in the oil, get a brand that you know the quality of the oil is good. So I did my research, got a brand that was supposedly good. And the next time I did the sardine fast, I was desperate to try something else. So I got the ones in water, like you suggested. You were right. And I added my own oil, and I did not have those histamine responses or whatever that the allergic response that I was having. So I did recommend that to the other woman in the group as well. Now, I haven't heard her report back yet, but I wanted to put that out here because if I'm not the only one who had it, if someone else in my small group of 11 people had the same response, I can bet someone watching this might have that issue with sardines. So if that happens, first try getting them packed in the water and adding your own oil. But you must add the oil because he tried the sardine fast without adding the fat, and that did not work either.
I think about the carnivore diet, it's like medicine, working well, but some of us stay on till they get good health reverse. Maybe some people should stay for life. That could be right, but not for all. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a protocol.
Yeah.
That may be sustainable for a long term for some. That's what you're saying. And maybe a shorter term thing for others. And actually, I would say that that's more aligned with how Dr. Baker probably views it, is he doesn't recommend it carte blanche. Is that the right word? For everybody. I don't think even Dr. Berry does that either because he views it as a proper human diet spectrum.
Yeah.
So I think that's absolutely accurate.
But I am so with you as far as it being like medicine. Like I think the power of the carnivore diet is phenomenal.
And I just saw part of the new Michaela Peterson video where she talked about maybe adding some carbs or fruit. She started to tell her whole story and I'm like, I've heard the whole story like 10 times. So I skipped around, but I didn't really find the punchline of the whole thing. So if you know about it, tell me. Because I was curious. Killers in the Pantry sounds like Murder, She Wrote. Target Prime Rib says, hello.
Hey.
Hello to you. I could go for some prime rib. That sounds pretty good. But I'm not going to have it right now because I can't quantify the fat content.
Yeah. But interestingly, you had major beef aversion for a huge chunk of your journey. And now you're kind of eating steak here and there and kind of liking it, it seems.
Yeah, I'm not put off by the flavor as much now that I don't have it as often.
Yeah.
And I think, it's, who knows? I sort of had this thought of maybe my taste buds were telling me all along to slow my roll on the beef And, my ferritin is kind of high. I don't know if that's really from eating the beef or not, but because that can be an inflammatory thing. But it just could have been like, don't do that. And also, you don't need more fat because we got plenty.
We got plenty.
So maybe my taste buds were telling me something I should have just listened to.
Yeah.
Or you can't listen to your taste buds. Oh.
Oh.
Oh boy. Oh, people know each other.
Ah.
He had a cold, apparently. I'm glad we found that out. I do hope you're feeling better. Well, it's time for us to sign off.
Yes.
If you're watching this on the replay, please leave a comment. Say hello. Tell us we're crazy. Tell us we're geniuses. Tell us that we're going down a false path. Tell us we're doing exactly the right thing. Tell us something. We're almost unoffendable at this stage.
Almost.
When it comes to YouTube comments. We've been called some extremely heinous things. So that ice is broken. And we're not going to play the outro music, I don't think.
No, I missed that song too.
Because if
it was so good.
It doesn't
doesn't
work anymore. I got to make sure it actually doesn't play because we can't play the Carnivore song anymore.
No. It was so good.
So, where are we now? Do you want to sign off?
Oh, sure. I guess so. I forgot how this works. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. It has been our pleasure to be back with you after all these weeks off. And we are hoping that for you, it's every day stronger.
Every day more blessed. Bye.